Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Yo. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Matt, Shane, and Jason with you guys on this absolutely gorgeous, starry evening, at least here in the state of Kansas. Jason, I'm sure it's hot in Texas, right? How are you guys doing tonight? Feels good.
Listen, Matt, don't rub it in that you live in the country and I live in the city and I can't see the stars, okay? You made me check outside, getting all excited, just to remember I live in light pollution. So other than that, I'm fantastic. It's great to be back.
Hey, glad to be with you guys. I just wish tomorrow didn't slap me around like he hit that guy in the elevator in Vegas, but it is what it is.
Shane, I could not help but just start laughing. I could not help but cracking up because you're totally right. Totally right. You know, I imagine it is a little bit harder to see the stars living in a little bit of polluted air.
Yeah, I get to see the stars of my local city though, not the stars.
Right.
Yeah, so It's a little different stars action, but
okay,
same. But
all
different.
right. Touche. Guys, welcome back to the studio, man. Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, guys. Head over to any of the podcasting platforms. If you guys want to, please give us a 5-star review, a follow. It really does help the show. Thank you to all of our loyal subscribers who have stayed with us these last couple of years. We can't thank you guys enough. There are a lot of exciting things yet to come. Head over to our partners now, who we are partnered with at least, fantasy6pack.net. Become an all-access member over there. Guys, the knowledge that goes on through that website is unfreaking real. Unreal. Any sport you want to see, any sport you want to hear about, it is over there. Anything you guys want to hear about DFS, betting, fantasy leagues, cheat sheets, draft strategies, it is all over there. Articles, it's all booming over there. Then head over to Discord, Fantasy Six Pack on Discord, guys. We are over there as well, and there is a ton, and I repeat, a ton of knowledge over there with every single sport that you guys want to talk about. It's over there. There's a lot of people that are involved with F6P. We will get to any answers you guys have, any questions you guys have. Just become an all-access member over there. And remember, head over to the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe. That is where we are currently putting our show now. It is over there. We are able to keep our own brand on the audio side, on the YouTube side of things, the video over at the Fantasy Six Pack on YouTube.
One thing to note.
What's up, Shane?
If you join the Discord, you have an analyst at your fingertips. So if you have a question, you at analyst, and one of the many analysts that are in it, maybe us, it may be one of the other guys, somebody will get to your question personalized and to the point, and it's pretty great. I've used it. People have interacted. It's a great group of people, and they all have
100%.
incredible insight.
100%. And it's quick. You ask a question, and it is quick. There is a response at your fingertips. So
always on.
You don't have to sit there. Yeah, you don't have to sit there and wait for 5-10 minutes to get a response, especially if it's something that has to happen quick in your fantasy league. Guys, get to it pretty quick, and we are very excited to be a part of that. So if you guys want to go back and listen to our betting episode, guys, we do our parlay fade segment before our fantasy segment. Go back, check that out. If you are into betting, go and get you some over there. Get you some quiche, okay? Because we are on a roll on our betting side of things, on a absolute heater. So, Shane, this episode, guys, is going to be our fantasy episode where we talk about some hot or nots, we talk about news and notes, and then we are going to try to get through the games. We are going to try to get through the games and who we like for specific teams, if we like the matchups, and so on and so forth. So, Shane, why don't you jump right into the news and notes, bud?
Yeah, so news and notes. We have the Packers placing a rookie Marshawn Lloyd on injury reserve. That was Josh Jacobs' handcuff, for those of you wondering. The Dolphins obviously put Tua Tagovailoa on injury reserve. He's meeting with outside neurologists to figure out if he is still allowed to play football. Minor or major news, depending on, how you feel about it. Kareem Hunt officially signed by the Chiefs today. So he is signing to the practice squad for the Chiefs. And then the Mike Tomlin Steelers. And I quote, "We are readying ourselves around Justin. We'll stay in that mindset until something happens. Hypotheticals are a waste of time." What a baller, Mike Tomlin.
What a baller.
Justin Fields running the system there in Pittsburgh. Other news, AJ Brown expected to miss a couple of weeks. Puka Nacua still out. Cooper Kupp now banged up. Christian McCaffrey is still out. Isiah Pacheco, fractured fibula. Deebo Samuel out. Kenneth Walker, day-to-day. Keenan Allen, day-to-day. David Njoku, Evan Ingram, Jordan Love. It's
a
fantasy season. Dude, if you had a first-round draft pick, just be thankful that they're still standing because Justin Jefferson also got banged up and left the game. Like, this is the ultimate survive and advance part of the season. Like, if you can maintain a healthy team and compete, you're winning. So, like, don't shrug off your record. If you're 0-2, there's plenty of time to turn it around. It's not the NFL. You were not like an 87% chance to miss the playoffs. You got time. Stick to your guns. Other than that, Bryce Young getting benched. Jonathan Taylor got benched in the fourth quarter. Don't know what happened there. Still no idea what happened there. Even JT came out and said, "I don't know what happened." So
it was crazy.
We'll see. Yeah, I thought that was
crazy.
Insane. And fun news, Skylar Thompson will be starting, possibly. The Dolphins did sign Tyler Snoop Huntley off of the Ravens practice squad. So there's a chance that he is the long-term replacement for Tua.
Did you hear Dan Orlovsky's take today about how if Tua's injury is that significant, should Miami trade for Stafford?
I did not hear that.
Yeah, especially if like their weapons in LA are going to be hurt for a long time and they lose this week. Maybe reset.
Well, let me ask you this. We know that Puka Nacua is on IR, and I did hear rumblings that it could be more than 4 games. I heard it could be anywhere from 6 to 8, but leaning more towards that 6 side. Cooper Kupp, I did hear, is expected or a good candidate to go to IR and could miss up to 4 weeks, but potentially more. So I don't know. Real quickly, Shane, what's your thoughts on that?
First of all, I think it's a brilliant strategy for the Rams to capitalize on the situation and trade Matthew Stafford, but only if they get a haul, because he's still a very competent quarterback. And number 2, I hope you guys listened to my advice and picked up any Rams wide receiver, because Demarcus Robinson is through the roof now. Jordan Whittington caught 2 balls, and I'm a big fan of Jordan Whittington. That dude can ball.
You talked me into it. You talked me into that.
And even Tyler Johnson, like, he didn't have a great week last week, but like, there's sparks. And if he gets, I'm not going to say Tutu Atwell, but like, he is there. That's how I feel about Tutu Atwell. So he's there if you want to, but I would shoot my shot on any of the other 3. And I think that this Rams offense is still going to be, it's not going to be as potent, obviously, because you're missing Cooper and Puka, who are 2 absolute alphas, but those guys are still going to eat in a Sean McVay system.
To be honest, Shane, too, real quick, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do feel like this does hurt Kyren Williams a little bit. I know people would think,
100%. And their offensive line is so hurt that also doesn't help. Like, they have 1 healthy starter, and they're getting 1 back from suspension this week. So they have 2 healthy starters. Yay. But they're on like their 3rd string in every other position. So like, does it really matter? Not a ton.
Yeah. What do you make? I'm sure we'll get into it just in a little bit. But what do you make of the Isiah Pacheco, the potential to miss 6 to 8 weeks here?
I will say this as frank as possible. This is the best possible time, if you are a Chiefs fan, for him to miss time.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Like, it sucks. It does. It really sucks. But you're getting into the time period where the Atlanta Falcons are going to be a tough game. But they were going to be a tough game regardless. Then they play the Chargers. And then they turn around, they play the Saints, who, I mean, shockingly, it could be a good game in week 5. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, what the heck?
I don't know. It could be a good game. And then, week 6 comes around and they got a bye. So he's missing, 4 games maybe if he's back in 5 weeks, and 6 games if he's missing 7 weeks. Like you're talking about like a pretty low point of the schedule. They do play the Niners in week 7, which sucks.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a pretty okay part of the season to miss. And the key thing is that he'll be back and healthy for the playoffs. So like it sucks. Nice thing is that Carson Steele gets some reps. Maybe Kareem Hunt gets involved. Samaje Perine gets adjusted.
It's like the McCaffrey situation. It doesn't matter that he's missing the beginning of the year because it's one of those things you would rather have him for the playoffs. You just got to get there.
Yeah, the Chiefs will be there. So like that's the thing. Like if you're gonna miss a part of the season, I would much prefer him to miss the middle chunk of the season when like most of the wear and tear actually takes place. Get him healthy, get him right, get him back for the end stretch, and then rolling into the playoffs and the fantasy playoffs.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. You got any more news? You want to jump into the hot or not?
That is about all of the interesting news that exists out there. So yeah, we can roll right into the hot or not. Listen, fellas, I have an absolute banger for you to rip this Band-Aid off. We're talking the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings. We have a twosome. It takes 2 to tango. Tango partner 1 is gross. Not going to lie. It's like the ugly girl at your high school. It's Jalen Nailor. Look, the dude balled out at Michigan State. He is now given the opportunity to be the alpha in the room he always wanted to be. And he has played extremely well through 2 weeks. He has absorbed a larger role. And then in place of Jordan Addison, performed admirably, caught another touchdown pass as well. So and Sam Darnold seems to be a competent quarterback all of a sudden. Who would have thought? So Jalen Nailor in what could be a very interesting matchup with the Houston Texans is on my hot list, shockingly. Also, Jettas could miss time, and so could Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison's not ruled back. Jettas is questionable. Like, why you're going to take the number 1 wide receiver in an offense that's going to have a high-scoring game?
All right. I don't think Justin Jefferson's going to miss any time, but I do agree with you. I sort of agree with you. This time of year, you see people just blow through fab, right?
Oh, he's he's free.
Yeah, I know, but if you, because there's going to be people out there that are going to put some waiver claims in for him this week with some fab budget, with the scare of Justin Jefferson. Obviously, Jordan Addison's not going to be back. What would be your fab percentage you would put on a player like that?
5%.
Tops.
Like, okay. I'm not breaking the bank for Jalen Nailor, but the dude,
that's all I was trying to get
has a legitimate set of skills, and TJ Hawkinson's still out for the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future. Not the remainder of the year, but the foreseeable future.
Right.
Jordan Addison, suspension looming, also hurt. Jettas hurt. I don't see why that would scare you off. Like he's performing well in the wide receiver 3. He performed well in the wide receiver 2. This dude may have just been and he had a great profile coming out of college. He was a dominant player at Michigan State. And he struggled his first year, didn't get a lot of opportunities. He's the second year jump. Maybe this is what he was waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that at all.
All right, his tango partner. Oh, sorry, Jay. You got one?
No, I like any running back in the Texans backfield this week, depending on if Mixon plays. If Mixon doesn't play, I like Cam Akers playing this week.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I wasn't
Yeah.
going to put that one
Yeah.
because it was too chalky. I will say Minnesota's defense looks legit.
It does.
Looks absolutely stout.
We'll see.
And they have one of the best blitz packages and best defensive coordinators in football. So I do like your pizzazz there, but I do also like the Minnesota Vikings this week. Speaking of Minnesota Vikings, his tango partner for Jalen Nailor, we're going with a guy a little bit shorter, a little bit stouter. He goes by the name of Ty Chandler. And Chandler is knocking on the door. Aaron Jones, you better open up, my guy, because if you don't, he's going to kick it down. The dude is going to take the RB1 job. If Aaron Jones does not figure it out in this offense, he looks impressive. And we had been touting that all offseason. That Ty Chandler deserves more credit. This is his opportunity to show that he can produce even on limited touches. Give me Ty Chandler to be hot for the foreseeable future because
I agree with that.
he's already smoldering.
Yeah, I agree with that. 10 carries last week. I mean, and then I think he had like 8 or 9 carries the week prior in week 1. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and he looks great. Like he's averaging 49 and a half yards per game. And he's getting 10 touches, 12 touches. He had 10 carries and 82 yards against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Give the man the ball. All right. I'm off my Minnesota Vikings soapbox. Score!
Yeah, are you okay? Did you just want to talk about the Vikings today?
I don't. Trust me, I am not a Sam Darnold lover still. I don't know what's happening to me. However, you know who I do love? Trey McBride. Look, MHJ had a coming out party. He did. It was a true welcome to the NFL, MHJ. He was still, honestly, not targeted that much. And I think that some of those targets are because of the alpha in the room. And the alpha is Trey McBride. I think Trey McBride is the focal point of that offense, similar to how Kansas City runs the, used to run their focus of their offense through Travis Kelce. And so I think that you're getting this weird juxtaposition where you have this hype around this wide receiver, and yet the tight end is the guy that you actually want on your team for the longevity of the season. So I think that this is your opportunity to maybe get Trey McBride before the getting is good. So I'm going to go ahead and say hot this week in what is a very good matchup for tight ends. The Detroit Lions are terrible, pitiful against tight ends. And one of their best linebackers also got hurt last week. So go ahead, start Trey McBride with absolute confidence. And if you don't have him, this is maybe your last opportunity to trade for him.
Like it?
Jason,
Yeah,
you got a rebuttal.
I mean, it was. We all know who the alpha in that room is, and I do agree with you. And I think Marvin Harrison will just work his way up throughout the season, but right now it is Trey McBride. I do like Jameson Williams this week again. I mean, I'm going to roll with it. I think that week 1 wasn't a fluke. Amal Ra has been okay this year so far. He's going to have his breakout game eventually, but give me Jameson Williams to have a good game.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that when we do the weekly wrap, my guy. But yes, I do agree. JMO is solid. And Amon-Ra did go off, but Amon-Ra is hurt. So last on my hot list, last but not least, Zach Moss. I talked about it on our betting show. The Cincinnati Bengals will come out for blood against one of the worst run defenses in all of football. Give me Zach Moss to be on a heater this week, and they're going to be ahead for once. I promise. They're going to be ahead this week for once. They're going to run the football with Zach Moss. You'll be thanking me later when you fire him up in your flex. My not list. Short, sweet, to the point. Zamir White is borderline droppable. Sam Laporta, not hot. Not hot at all. Not sexy, not hot. He is a bottom 15 tight end through 2 weeks. Putrid. Jared Goff looks absolutely lost. What happened to Jared Goff? Caleb Williams. Brother, you are in the NFL. It is time to figure it out and act like it. Speaking of Williams, Javonte Williams may not be worth a roster spot. That is it. Those are the notes for the odds. That's all I got. Like, that's it. That was, I literally had like a one dash line for those four. Like,
yeah, no, I don't disagree
until you can figure it out. Like, it's crazy. Right. It's criminal. He's the guy that was drafted tight end 1, and he's performing as a tight end 17 or lower. It's criminal.
But see, that just goes to show you. I mean, we preached this in the offseason, y'all. We talked about it. Sam Laporta is being drafted in fantasy drafts way too high. Like, like Shane said, I don't need to go into it any more detail. Like, we saw this coming. I think a lot of actual analysts saw this coming. People just get enamored with what they did in the season prior, and they feel like they have to have him. And now you run into a certain situation, which I think all three of us are running into in multiple leagues that we were in. People are having doubts. They're having doubts of starting Sam Laporta. And it's one of those things where you obviously have to start him. He is a good tight end. You drafted him, and
he's option 5 in that offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like,
just
they're gonna throw the ball to Amon-Ra, they're gonna throw the ball to J-Mo, or they're gonna run the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery, and then maybe think about Sam Laporta.
I do think that brighter things in the, I think he will end up being okay, but he's definitely, in my opinion, not going to pan out where you guys drafted him.
No, it's one of the largest sunk costs in this draft season, and it's insane. Yeah. Shout out J-Mo.
Yeah.
Jared Goff needs to figure it out. He was really he was inches for making my not list. Jared Goff throwing off the back foot, running backwards with time, not even under pressure, is something I never want to see ever again. Somebody needs to sit him down and tell him he's not playing Madden and that this is real football, and he needs to act like it.
Yeah. All right. Do you think we got time to run through these games? Do you want to try to get through them all, or do you want to just go through some matchups here?
I said we just let's bang them out real quick. We can do a fire for the first easy 4 matchups probably for sure, and then we'll all see. Right.
Let's start out with the Patriots playing at the Jets. Then, who you like? You like anybody?
I like Ramondre Stevenson, and I like Breece Hall.
Jason?
Yeah, I think the Braylon Allen thing was a little bit weird last week. Breece will get his touches and get in the end zone.
Yeah, no, agree. It's Ramondre is a beast running back. I think we all kind of called it earlier. Love that play. Breece, obviously, you're starting him.
Antonio Gibson, worth a waiver wire ad if you were really weak at running back.
Yeah, and real quick, we're like extremely quick. Is Garrett Wilson? You starting him? You drafted him?
You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
He's going to get shadowed. Kind of I would temper my expectations. He is going to get shadowed by what has been graded the best cornerback in the NFL thus far.
Yeah. Temper expectations. He hasn't looked great this year. Next matchup, guys. The Los Angeles Chargers going to Pittsburgh, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers, might I add.
2-0 Chargers.
Yeah.
The battle of undefeateds, man. Who would have thought at this stage?
Yeah, Pittsburgh coming on top. Who you like on this one?
I like Najee.
Obvious.
Give me Najee. I do not like J.K. Dobbins this week.
Ooh,
I like Quentin Johnston this week. The Steelers are super terrible at covering the slot wide receiver, and Quentin Johnston just went nuclear against a team that's pretty adequate at it.
Well, I like the Steelers, so you just fire him up because I'm a Steelers fan. But I agree with everything.
Najee, I like Najee. The Chargers defense does look good. It's weird.
Yeah, they don't look
like
bad.
saying it. I don't like saying it. The Chargers defense look good.
All right, guys. Moving on to the Chicago Bears, Indianapolis Colts. This one's you know, who you like?
One of the ugliest matchups of the entire week. Rome Odunze may be dead. So, yeah, if Josh Downs can play, give me Josh Downs. That's the list. That's the list, honestly.
Right.
No, I like DeAndre Swift. The Colts run D is sus, and I think Swift
you're not wrong.
has a great game.
You're not wrong that the Colts run defense is bad, but DeAndre Swift looks awful.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the crazy part about it. We'll just spend a second on it. Well, I guess 20 seconds. DeAndre Swift needs to start running up the freaking field. Stop going to the sidelines. We all know the hype of DeAndre Swift. Coming out of college, everybody was high on him. NFL didn't pan out right away. Then he got hurt. Then he panned out again. Then he got traded. Like, DeAndre Swift's bugaboo is running to the sideline. Get up field, my guy. Get up freaking field.
Yeah, yards
it's like
matter.
He's scared to
yards
get hit.
Matter when you're a running back.
Yeah, it's like he's scared to get hit. He is a talented running back, but man, I got to see him get up the freaking field. But I agree with you, Shane. Josh Downs, I'm telling you right now,
he's going to be the saving
man,
grace of the Colts passing game. That's what it is.
100%. I'm actually kind of panicked on Michael Pittman a little bit. Alec Pierce has gotten way more targets. I think Josh Downs, when he comes back, is going to be probably, in my opinion, the main target for Anthony Richardson. We saw a little sprinkle of it last year. Michael Pittman is scary right now. It's extremely scary. But I agree with you, 100%. Josh Downs, if he plays, I'm firing him up right away. Next matchup, Jason's team, Houston Texans going to Minnesota. Kind of touched on this a little bit. Jason, go ahead. You got first crack at this.
Yeah, I mean the obvious. It's Nico Collins. I would take Cam Akers if he plays. Whatever running back for Houston plays, I like them.
Shane?
Yeah. Give me the coin of the other side on this one. I will take Ty Chandler to bust some chops here and put him in your flex. Other than that, I mean, Nico's an auto fire at this point.
Yeah,
Tank Dell disappeared. Steph is gonna only get 5-yard outs.
And keep in mind, guys, the big name superstar players, the ones that we know you're not going to bench, we're not going to say anything about. You guys are going to start those guys
unless there's questions about them. Like, I mean, like Tank Dell, where did you go, my guy? Catch the football.
Yeah, it was troubling for me in my bets that he just disappeared. Had some money riding on him, and it's like he wasn't there. Just the ghost of the offense. All right, next game, guys. The New York Football Giants going to the surprisingly Cleveland Browns that looked kind of competent last week. So, What do you like here?
Whoa!
They did.
Whoa!
They did kind of look, or I should say, Deshaun Watson kind of looked a little competent.
They looked at best a sub 500 team, and I will stand by that. I think Wan'Dale Robinson could have a monster game, which is like, a gross name to throw out there. Devin Singletary leads the league in broken tackles.
I can't stand that.
That's
absolutely stupid.
I think that there's a good chance that Jerome Ford, if he is the feature back, is going to be solid. But at this point, I don't trust them. So I don't say with any confidence that you can start Jerome Ford at this point because for some reason the ghost of Deonta Foreman was in there for
14 carries.
Yeah, like why? For what reason, Kevin Stefanski? The dude looked crippled running the football. put the dude in, put Jerome Ford in the game, who shows burst, who shows the ability. It blew my mind. The reason they're a sub 500 team is because they can't even utilize the personnel they have.
Yeah. Jason?
Ford, that's it.
Nothing?
But
yeah,
it's ugly.
It is ugly. It is ugly. It's very ugly. I can get behind that. Devin Singletary, you're ridiculous.
I'm not
next
saying
game, guys.
Devin Singletary. Not against the Browns. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Hold on.
Listen, I am just angry because he put up some points in one of the leagues I'm in, and I was just so frustrated. I was so frustrated that Devin Singletary did what he did. Next one, guys, a good game, a good matchup, in my opinion. One of the NFL's hottest teams, potentially QB1. I think he's QB1 or 2 on the year so far. I know we've only had a couple of weeks, but Philadelphia Eagles going to New Orleans. What do you like?
I was going to say Dallas Goedert, but he no-showed last night. He absolutely no-showed. Like 38 yards on 3 catches. Like, bruh, come on.
Who was I don't even know his name. Who's Philly's other tight end? He actually
Calcutta.
I mean,
Calcutta. Yeah, whatever.
What do you have? 3 catches? 3 catches? I mean, it wasn't much, but did more than Dallas Goedert.
They did the same. That was a great thing.
Did they?
Yeah, Goddard got his at the end. He had 2 catches on the last 2 drives to bolster his line up to 3 catches for 38 yards. I don't know. Honestly, this game makes me want to throw up because this should have been a blowout in one direction, and the Eagles don't have A.J. Brown. The Saints look good, and Rashid Shaheed's going to continue to, I guess, get
be the wide receiver
touchdowns. Yeah, get 80-yard touchdowns every single game. Against cover 2.
Let me ask you this.
It doesn't make sense. Somebody make it make sense to me.
Let me ask you this. Are you willing to start Derek Carr?
Yes.
Yes.
Especially against a sus Phillies defense who just let the Atlanta Falcons, who look crippled, walk down the field with 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
Now, let me ask you this. Is Rashid Shaheed a player that you're willing to throw in your wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 slot, or is he a flex player? Because part of me still thinks that this isn't real life, but the other part of me is like, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
the game within the
are you scared?
Oh, I'm 100% scared firing him up, but at this point, it's more scary to leave him on my bench. Like, and that's what it comes down to is like some of those, like him and Gabe Davis's prime remind me of the exact same player. Like, you are scared to start them, but you're scared not to, because he could have 2 catches for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So are you? What I'm saying is,
I'm on the start. I'm on the start at this point.
Okay.
We've seen enough, and the way he was utilized last year, we've seen enough. I would not feel comfortable putting in my wide receiver 2, but if I'm backed into a corner, yeah, I'd slap him my wide receiver 2. But I'd prefer to put him in my flex.
Yeah, Jason,
I would start him, but I would try to trade him right now.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Like, you could probably get something for him right now.
Kubiak's got this team figured out. Yeah. I'm just saying.
You're onto something. You may be onto something. All right, guys, next game here. Denver Broncos traveling to Tampa Bay. Who you like?
Everybody on the Buccaneers.
Godwin, yeah.
Look, the Broncos have a good defense. Broncos have a good defense. It's going to be a slugfest. My puke-worthy name, Bucky Irving.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's peak-worthy. I really don't think it's peak-worthy. I think Rashad White is clear. Obviously, he's the RB1 in that offense, but brother, you have got to stop running into offensive linemen when you're running the ball. Like, he's a great wide receiver catching the ball. I think Bucky Irving's a better running back running the ball. I understand you're puke worthy, but I think here in the next 2-3 weeks, it's going to be. Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. Jason, you got any
owner? It would definitely scare me right now.
Nope.
Yeah. Nothing. All right. No. Moving on, guys. Green Bay Packers playing at the Tennessee Titans.
Hold on, backtrack. Can I just say that Josh Reynolds deserves some goddamn respect? I just got yelled at for that one.
I'm glad you got
98 yards. He had 98 yards last week, and not a single person has mentioned Josh Reynolds.
I'm gonna say,
and the Bucs are hurt, man. The Bucs are hurt.
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say Water. Like I get it. I 100% get it. Like there has to be a receiver in that room that does something. I'm gonna say Water for one more week. I want to see what he does in one more week because week 1 he was not there.
I got yelled at for that one.
Yeah,
Josh, he did get a ton of targets. He got a ton of targets on week 1. He just didn't turn them into catches.
Yeah, that's one.
He produced. I'm just saying, take a flyer on Josh Reynolds. He's on your way.
Yeah, he might be.
Guarantee it.
Might be a stash. Might be a little stash and wait, in my opinion. Green Bay Packers, Tennessee Titans. Obviously, we know the big names from Green Bay, but do you like them? Do you think Josh Jacobs is not going to see 32 rushing attempts every week?
I like Emmanuel Wilson.
That's not feasible. Not feasible.
Yeah, I like
Wilson.
I like Emmanuel Wilson in this spot. Jacobs coming off a massive game. They're gonna have to do something different. I actually like Bo Melton, which is a weird call out. I know he's like the 5th wide receiver on the depth chart.
You said that because of his name. Like it's a cool name to say.
No. Dontavian Wicks is a cool name to say. That's why he's wide receiver 4 on the depth chart, not Bo Melton. Listen, Bo Melton got some run at running back, and I think that there's a chance that we see him in a more involved version of this offense.
Is he worth putting on your roster?
He's worth a flyer to add.
Okay.
At this juncture, because they have no one at running back behind Josh Jacobs, and if Bo Melton can be the guy, especially like the passing down, like change of pace, like get a guy in and he could do some stuff. Like,
yeah,
Bo Melton's an explosive athlete. If you're in a deep league or deep rosters, Bo Melton's a flyer to add.
I like the Tennessee run game this game. I like Pollard in this game, and I forget who's their backup again over there.
Well, Spears is hurt. Spears is hurt.
He is hurt. Okay, yeah. Give me Pollard. Give me all the stock in Pollard this week.
I can get behind that. Pollard looked fantastic.
Don't forget Calvin Ridley. I mean, obviously we weren't mentioning, but oh my gosh, those catches, man, dude.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley looked like a beast. He did. Obviously that's a guy that you're probably not going
to. Oh yeah, you're 100% firing up, but
yeah. Or real quick before we move to the next game, DeAndre Hopkins. Bench?
I'm deflated. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have been starting him to begin with, but like, my guy, do something. Show us something.
He was down.
That's all I'm asking.
Down bad.
Give me a reason to keep you on my roster.
Yeah, he was dropped in a league that I was in. He was dropped.
I was close. I was close this week.
Yeah. It's let's see something. Let's see something. D Hop, come on now, son. All right. Carolina Panthers playing at the Las Vegas Raiders. We touched on this a little bit in an episode prior. What Shane's making some weird faces. So what do you got in this one?
Adam Thielen. Fire up.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, 100%.
Fire up Chuba Hubbard.
Deontay? Are you just dropping him or you starting him? Could be good for Deontay with Red Rocket now at the helm.
I'm gonna say wait and see on Deontay. Only because there's no chemistry there.
Okay.
Dalton played last year with Thielen and was
fire.
So like that's why I'm going back to Thielen. Thielen is the guy right now. If you are like trying to play a guy in the Panthers, Thielen's the guy. And then honestly, Chuba Hubbard, like the Raiders have a good run defense, but Chuba looked inspiring. Not gonna lie.
All right, Jason.
Yeah. No, fire up Thielen. I think they have a hell of a day this weekend.
Yeah. Fire. I love Adam Thielen.
And then you can honestly start either tight end in the Raiders offense. maybe over even Sam Laporta.
I agree
you
with
like-
Bauer start. Mm-hmm.
I do too. Do you like Brock Bowers a little bit more than Michael Mayer?
Oh yeah, 100%. But
Yeah,
I think
Oh, yeah.
Mayer does enough that you can like confidently start him and know he's going to get targets and like be a part of the offense. So yeah, I think that firing them both up makes sense. I think that against this awful Panthers run defense, even like Alexander Madison makes sense. And even though Zamir White was on my not list, like maybe Zamir White.
Okay. All right. Next game, guys. Miami Dolphins traveling to the 12th man facing the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, we do know Achane, Waddle, Tyreek Hill. You're not going to bench those guys, even with the uncertainty of quarterback play. They're just too hard. Let me rephrase that. You drafted them high enough to where you're probably not benching those three guys. Well, what do you guys think?
I mean, Johnny Smith takes a massive downgrade. Actually, let me backtrack. I think Johnny Smith gets more work now that there's a backup quarterback. Because he's going to need a warm safety blanket, and Johnny seems to be that in this offense. I think they're going to
Who
run
takes a hit? Who takes a hit?
I think Waddle ends up taking the biggest hit. He's the least.
Do you?
Tyreek is going to get Tyreek's.
I think he takes the hit.
I think, well, there's going to be less deep balls, but I think it's going to be more volume to Tyreek in weird plays. Like McDaniels is smart enough to like create things for Tyreek to succeed in. He may be used in a very Chiefs-esque way this upcoming week. So it wouldn't shock me to see a lot of like bubbles and quick outs, maybe like one or two. Like it wouldn't shock me to see him used in a short yardage, like see if he pops one type situation.
I agree.
And yeah, the Seahawks, Zach Charbonnet should 100% be fired up and take a guess. JSN should have been arguably started last week. If you drafted Jason and you weren't putting him in your flex and just hoping that he popped, I don't know why you drafted Jason.
Jason,
whatever running back is in the backfield for Seattle.
That's why I like Sharps.
Like
Sharps or Kenneth Walker.
That run defense is sus for.
I think and I agree with that 1,000,000,000%. I think Kenneth Walker actually is going to miss another week. That's just my personal opinion. Charbonnet.
Might as well this week. Might as well.
100%.
If you're talking about this week, like might as well just set him.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, guys. Next game: Detroit Lions going to Arizona. We talked about MHJ, Kyler, Trey McBride. You're obviously starting those guys. The Detroit Lions, if Amon-Ra is healthy, you're starting him. J-Mo, we already kind of touched on that. You're starting him. Both running backs. Is there anyone else you want to touch on here as far as a start sit, or do you want to move on?
Not particularly. I will say that if you're going to fire up Michael Wilson, this is your shot.
True. Yeah. If you're in deep leagues and you want to take a shot on them, like Shane said, take a shot. Baltimore Ravens going to the not so fantastic at home Dallas Cowboys that everybody thought they'd be. Again, we know the main guys you're going to fire up, not bench. Is there anybody out of the ordinary that you're willing to give a shot here? If you had to go Dallas running back, which one would it be? Dowdle?
Zeke, I think.
Zeke. Yeah.
Zeke. I mean, Zeke's the more solidified role. I don't really want to start a Dallas running back against the Ravens.
Yeah, neither do I.
So, like, if I had another option, that would be my choice.
Isaiah Likely, you firing Isaiah up?
Begrudgingly, if I'm struggling at tight end, yes, because I think that this results in an attempted shootout. And I think he's probably certifiably enough in that offense, like as far as volume goes, to get 6 to 8 points.
Targets.
Yeah, okay. He's going to pull a Pat Freiermuth and end up like tight end 14 at least.
I agree with that. All right, guys. Next game, San Francisco 49ers traveling to the down very bad Los Angeles Rams. Personal opinion, obviously, you drafted Kyron Williams in the second round. You're probably not benching him. Don't like him this week. Don't like the Rams this week against the 49ers defense, who is formidable, even though Sam Darnold just carved them up. They are formidable. They're probably not going to lose this week because they just lost to the Minnesota Vikings. But that being said, you know the guys that you're going to fire up. Jordan Mason, CMC still out. Deebo Samuel expected to miss multiple weeks. You're probably firing up Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. Who else do you like? Do you like anybody else in the San Francisco offense?
Jake Cowling?
Yeah.
And
yeah, you did mention that.
I said that in the group chat. I was like, hey, Ricky Pearsall hurt.
He did.
This is Cowing season. Juwan Jennings probably should be fired up if you have him, if he's available on your waiver wire. He's worth an ad at this point, with Deebo possibly missing multiple weeks, maybe an IR.
I think he is. I think he is.
It sucks. It sucks a lot.
Let me ask you this. This week against the Rams defense, would you be in the 49ers banged up offense? Would you be willing to start Brock Purdy?
No.
That's a hard thing, and I think that means no. But it's close. I think he's quarterback 13. He's not going to win you the week.
Okay.
He's probably not going to lose you the week. To be fair, quarterback scoring has been way down. So
it's been way down. It's been way down.
QB 13 is what? 14 points, 16 points,
Maybe.
something like that.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Allen scored 11 fantasy points last week and a half points of the
Yeah.
So
rough.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's move on here. Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Atlanta Falcons that just marched down Jalen Hurts' throat, Nick Sirianni's throat, and won the game. We know the obvious starters you're starting here. Is there anybody else that you want to jumps out to you in this matchup?
Aside from Chiefs money line on a Atlanta Falcons short week, no, not anybody that jumps
Carson
out. I mean,
Steele.
Carson Steele. I was going to say Carson Steele is the obvious play. He's going to be added and
Is it though? Do you like Carson Steele over Samaje Perine? Because that is a waiver wire topic. Okay. You do like Carson Steele over
Carson
Samaje.
is going to
heard a lot of Samaje.
So Samaje's the reason Samaje is still in the NFL is his prowess in and passing pro.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. He is a amazing running back when you're attempting to protect your quarterback, and he understands the defensive blitz, the defensive rush, and when to escape, when not to. He is the definition of a professional in that position. He is a very mediocre running back when running the football. And if I'm the Chiefs, I'm looking at Carson Steele as the direct replacement for Isiah Pacheco. Maybe it's not going to be direct because Pacheco was in there a lot for passing downs because Pacheco's getting better at passing pro. But at the same time, Carson Steele is going to get the majority of the work that's handed to those running backs in KC.
I do feel like Kansas City will pass the ball a little bit more. Not run as much.
Especially against what is a interesting Atlanta secondary. We'll put it in Coy terms.
Jason, you got anything on that game?
Not at all.
Darnell Mooney or Ray McLeod for Atlanta.
I think if you're gonna,
the Chiefs are very suspect covering the slot right now. Shamari Connor looks okay, but he's not special, and he's not special yet. So I'd be, if you were in a PPR league, one of those two dudes is going to get you 14 points.
It's just fantasy points,
14.
Okay, we've got two more games. We're going to wrap this episode up, guys. Jacksonville Jaguars playing at the Buffalo Bills. Like Shane said earlier, man, obviously James Cook went nuts, nuclear last game that he played in. Josh Allen didn't really have a reason to throw the ball much. we know the obvious starters for Buffalo. What are you looking at on Jacksonville here? And actually, what are you looking at as far as Keon Coleman? Had 1 target. And I know he's still trying to get integrated into the offense week 1. He had a good week, scored double-digit fantasy points. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel. I guess it's not a definite obvious. It's obviously Josh Allen, James Cook,
Kincaid,
and you're probably starting BTJ because that seems like a great target for Trevor Lawrence. But what are we looking at Buffalo receivers? Shakur, Coleman.
Khalil is it. I
agree.
He's the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis Samuel had 2 targets last week. He had 8. I think he had 1 target the week before. Like, I understand he's coming off turf toe, and that's a shitty injury.
Yeah.
But, like, until we see it with Curtis Samuel, he's on your bench and maybe on your waiver wire at this point. Like, he's not shown anything, and it sucks. Keon is the 4th, 5th option at this point. Like,
is he? Are you dropping him? Or is
no,
he just
no.
Let's wait and see what happens.
100% still wait and see.
Exactly.
It's too early in the season to drop. If you are dropping a rookie wide receivers, you're doing this wrong. Wait until week 8 at least. If you drafted a rookie wide receiver, do not drop them until at least week 8 because it takes the NFL is a whole different game and it takes a while.
Except for BTJ.
There are certain exceptions to the rule. I'm not saying that's, but if a rookie is struggling, don't just drop them.
Yeah,
because you will probably come to regret it if they are good. You will regret it. About week 8 or later.
And you guys called this. You guys called this too. Like maybe even like a month and a half ago. I know both you guys were pretty down on Christian Kirk. Droppable?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I mean, through 2 weeks. Through 2 weeks, hasn't done anything.
I have an nasty one. Brenton Strange.
I think he is.
Give me Strange. Yeah. Evan Ingram day to day. Probably. I mean, looks like not playing this week. You don't hurt your hamstring before the game, and then all of a sudden, just like, be good the next week. So like,
yeah. Agreed, 100%. I 100% agree with that.
Strange is a good dude. Like he's a good tight end product out of Penn State. They know how to grow him, and he knows ball. So fire Strange.
I'm holding on to Kirk. I don't really have anybody to pick up in that game. To be completely honest,
Gabe Davis.
Ew.
Revenge matchup, and the Bills play cover 2 shell at one of the lowest rates in football, which means it's a Gabe Davis game, baby.
I don't trust it for 3 receptions and hope he gets in the end zone and a lot of yards.
I don't trust Trevor Lawrence, so I'm there with you. But if you need a Hail Mary, just know Gabe Davis could be your savior.
Yeah, because it looks like Tank Bigsby, he got a pretty serious shoulder injury. Obviously, you're going to fire up ETN if that's the case. 100%. Yeah. All right, guys. Last game of the week. Washington Commanders going to Cincinnati Bengals. Are we going to see Jamar Chase totally Antonio Brown this shit and lose his mind? Absolutely lose his mind.
If they lose this game, yeah.
100%. 100%. That ain't no joke. Obviously, Shane talked about it, man. Zach Moss should have a good game this week. Obviously, you drafted Jamar Chase. You're not benching him if he's playing. T. Higgins, we don't know if he's going to be back, but if he is back, you're probably gonna start him, but you're gonna temper your expectations on that. Andre Yoshibash has played absolutely phenomenal. Jermaine Burton, we had high hopes. I honestly think that is one rookie receiver that you probably could drop because he's obviously like 6th in the pecking order. Joe Burrow seems to be targeting his tight ends more than his wide receivers. Yeah, it's a weird game. It's a weird game. Jaden Daniels, you're firing him up. He's played pretty consistent so far this year. He can carve up the defense. We've seen that. Who do you like? I mean, is there anybody out of the ordinary that you like in this game?
I mean, aside from Brian Robinson Jr., Jason Jinx.
Yeah. Fire. Yeah, fire his ass up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he had over 100 yards from scrimmage last week, and I mean, it was against the Giants, so like, but the Bengals against the run aren't a whole lot better. And
no,
yeah, so B-Rob definitely fireable here. Yoshi, Matt, you're shrugging. If T. Higgins is back, I think Yoshi's role could be more solidified.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree.
I think he would be a fantastic slot. I think he would be a 1-for-1 replacement for Tyler Boyd if he's in that role. But he's currently playing the boundary, and I don't think he can do it. Like, I think that's the biggest issue. But he is a freaking end zone hog.
And he's talented.
He's 6'4". He's 6. Yeah. He's a massive, massive target. So, like,
yeah,
I wouldn't give up on Yoshi yet. If I picked him up, I'm keeping him at this point. If I haven't picked him up, he may stay there. Like that's how I feel about the Yoshi situation. Other than that, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a big. I'm not a big believer.
Maybe Mike Gesicki, if you're feeling.
I mean, yes, I agree with that. I actually agree with that 100%. It seems like that's Joe Burrow's like number one look. He looks at Mike Gesicki, then he looks for Tanner Hudson, and then he looks at Jamar Chase. I mean, he wants to throw it his tight ends, I guess, this year. So I don't disagree with that at all. Mike Gesicki would be a pickup that I'm not ashamed to make there. Real quick, before we wrap this episode up, we've got 2 minutes. Are there any waiver wire pickups that you are like gung-ho about, willing to drop a fair amount of fab on this week? I think this week's kind of gross because it's players you still just really don't know yet. So I'm not willing to just sit and drop a crap ton of fab on players this week. But are there anybody out there that you are willing to aggressively go get?
10% on Demarcus Robinson if he was not picked up last week.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say if you're weak at tight end, Gesicki is a great dart throw. And Quentin Johnston, if for some reason he got dropped in your league, or if you play in a small league, should be rostered at this point. Other than that, like, yeah, you're right. It's pretty puke worthy.
Yeah, he said it.
Cam Akers, I think, is willing. I think you're.
Yeah, but that's like a wait and see if Joe Mixon is healthy thing, which is always awkward.
Yeah,
because if you burn fab on him and then Mixon's healthy,
doesn't pan out.
Yeah, you're like,
or if Dameon Pierce is getting touches.
Yeah. If Dameon Pierce is healthy, and then all of a sudden it's a split backfield, and you're like, what the?
Agreed, 100%. All right, guys. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. Remember, guys, go back, check out other episodes. Go to any audio podcast platform, man. Give us a follow, 5-star review. It really does help out the show. And don't forget, we are partnered with Fantasy Six Pack now. Head on over to their YouTube channel. Give that a subscribe. Tune into our episodes. Let's start getting some more interaction. More interaction, guys. Head over to fantasy6pack.net. Become an all-access member today. One-time cost. You get to interact with tons of F6P analysts, ourselves included. I just can't even begin to tell you how much stuff is over there. So remember, guys, head on over there. Do that. Follow us on our socials. We will be posting more stuff out. And if you guys want to get into any of our betting episodes, we will post that out as well. You can go back and listen to that episode as well. fantasy6pack.net. This is the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. That being said, y'all know what to do.
It's been real, y'all. That's all I got.
Offenses are going off this week. We're going to see some high scores in fantasy.
Would love to see that.
Yeah, no joke. Let's get these quarterbacks getting after it. We love you all to the moon and back. Until next episode. Peace out.